All right, welcome back to another episode of the Buffalo Happy Hour. What's up, Mike?
Derek, I went shopping today.
Oh my God, where did you go?
I can't hold my excitement, man. I want to tell you all about it.
Jesus.
So I came up with a plan to go camping with Sam, who's my dog. So I went to Cabela's and I picked up the necessities, and I'm stoked.
Like what?
Okay, so the Army issues you all this cool stuff that you want to go out and play in the woods with, but when you get out, they force you to turn it all in. So now
really?
I have to buy the civilian version, which it looks cooler. It's got a cool new logo on it. It's got some peaks and stuff, different names.
Cooler?
Yeah, because it's civilian, man. They make
Cooler
everything
to
look cool.
walk around with Patagonia gear?
Yeah, obviously. You always got to look cool. It's the number one rule. So I picked up some stuff for camping that's all civilianized, basically. So I grabbed a folding fork.
Which I do not understand what a folding fork is or the necessity for it.
So it's a spork, and the handle collapses in on the head of the utensil.
Does a spork have 3 or 4 prongs to it?
This one has 4.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it is a true spork.
It's a spork.
Throwback to our first episode.
Yes.
Perfect. But like, it's not like a spork takes up a lot of room anyway.
Correct.
So what's the need for a folding spork? You're taking something really small and making it even smaller for no reason.
No, it's because space is always limited, man. So what if you throw it in your pocket?
But it's a spork. It's not like it's a rocket launcher that you have to save space with. It's a spork.
I know, but still, you want to make everything as compact as possible.
Hey, man, if it makes you happy, it makes you happy.
I'm beaming with joy right now.
And then you got a tent, too, right?
Yeah, I got this sweet 2-person tent that me and Sam are going to snuggle in.
Notice you and Sam, not you and Colleen.
Correct. No,
you and Sam.
Yeah, so Colleen doesn't camp. She doesn't want to go out and play in the woods. It's really sad.
Yeah.
But anyways, so me and Sam are going to go out and we're going to go on adventures and hike. And I got 2 spots that I'm already doing some map reconnaissance on.
Nice.
Figuring out how I can do it. And then I picked up a pad to sleep with that folds in on itself. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
It's going to get me off the ground. My tent fits too comfortably. It's 104 centimeters high. And then, so basically I can sit up. Yeah. So it's really cool. And then everything is a different color and then nice and bright. So I can find it.
And it's heated or something, you said, right?
Yeah. So it's insulated and waterproof.
Sweet.
And then it can withstand winds up to 35 or it says 35 plus mile an hour winds it can sustain.
Okay.
So then I checked out all the reviews and the guy was like, yeah, it was horrible out. It was snowing and the tent held up fine.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm pumped.
So do you have a sleeping bag too or just that mat?
No, I got a sleeping bag, but I'm probably going to get a different sleeping bag because the one I have is like, if you're staying in a cabin and you're just going to throw this monstrosity bag into something else because of my pack, I got to keep everything as small as possible and as light as possible. So weight equals pain.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
So how big of, like, how much stuff are you planning on bringing size-wise? Like, what does your ideal camping gear look like from a size perspective? Is it going to fill up the whole back of your car or your truck? Like, what are we talking about here?
Everything will fit into my pack.
Which is?
That I wear on my back. So it's an Aegis 65, and it's made by Odyssey. Hold on.
Odyssey?
Odyssey?
Yeah.
Let me pronounce it correctly before I get sued. Hashtag none of these companies are sponsors. So, Osprey.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm pumped. It fits a lot. It's got all these different compartments. It's got a specific spot for your poles in case you're doing anything with cross-country skis.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's sweet. So, I'm excited, man. It's all
so
waterproof.
everything is going to fit on your back.
Correct.
Oh my God. You're a mess. I don't understand why
stoked.
like you're so pumped about this. I mean, I do understand because hiking is fun.
Yes.
But like,
so is camping.
I go out in Sperry's and you're like, dude, look at this folding spork I have.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
So I'm basically going to set up a camp next to some type of water feature, hang out with my dog, cook some food, feed him his food, carry
Has
everything
Sam
on my
been
back.
camping before or hiking before?
Yeah, we've gone on hikes.
Okay.
But an overnight stay in the woods, he hasn't done yet. He doesn't even know what's going to happen. He's just going to love it. So he's up on his shots. He's good. Of course he is.
Okay.
He was all smiles when we were playing in the woods. And he stays right on my hip. It's incredible.
No leash or anything?
No, I took it off. I
Nice.
brought it with me, but he was good. Obviously, he's got his little harness, his cute little harness, and then his collar. But otherwise, he's good.
That's adorable, man.
Yeah.
I hope you have fun. When are you planning on going? Next year?
Spring.
Yeah.
Once this winter's over with, I'm just going to do it on a weekend, I'm all juiced up, dude. I'm ready.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Just go get it.
That's it.
Tell them about it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I'll probably post a ton of pics. Everybody that follows me can see it,
Follow you on M. Kelly. What's the...
8828.
8828. Is there a reference behind that? 8828? Is that a number that you
So 28, yeah, 28's my number.
Okay.
I've had that throughout all of my time playing sports. And then 88 is just a number that I was always obsessed with. I like even numbers because I'm ferocious at math, which you can tell by this. Love it. So you can tell that by this podcast, but I just like even numbers.
You have OCD too a little bit, right?
100%.
Yeah. 1521, which is most on all of my names, usernames, or everything like that. That used to be my screen name, or the ending 4 digits of my AIM screen name. Because
Throwback.
I was like, Skate New York 1521, because, skater kid. I was like, yeah, this is pretty sick. And then the 1521 just stuck with me. So that is, my Instagram name is Derek1521. My, Xbox, everything that I have a screen name for is always 1521 at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's crazy,
pretty
man.
crazy.
Yeah. Okay, get out of my head.
Yeah, I know.
You said the same thing I did.
I know.
So should we talk about what we're trying today?
We should. Go for it, Mike.
All right. So I'm going to discuss the history and backstory on Hartmans Distillery.
Ooh.
So
we're getting cherry.
There's some craziness happening inside this glass, man. I didn't
even
the nose yet.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about this yet, but I'm getting a lot of cherry.
Yeah, there's a lot of cherry. So Hartmans Distillery is located at 55 Chicago Street in Buffalo, New York. They are in the same building as the new Resurgence Brewery. They're just next door.
And right in front of that rock climbing place.
Yeah. So Justin Hartman is the founder and master distiller. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
I like this.
It's so smooth.
It's really smooth.
Wow.
So he's the founder and master distiller. He and his wife moved back to their hometown of Buffalo, New York to provide quality products to the people and let them enjoy the good times once again. Justin's great-grandfather was a moonshiner in Black Rock, Buffalo, but that wasn't known until recent. So he started this distillery without knowing that it ran in his family, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Justin realized while falling in love with whiskey that the better the whiskey, the better time people were having with each other. Conversations lasted longer, phones were ignored, and better memories were being made. He spent several years traveling the country studying distilling, barreling, aging, and blending. He graduated from Moonshine University's Distillers course in Louisville, Kentucky, the heart of bourbon country, where he learned where he learned blending techniques rooted in the 18th century French winemaking traditions. He learned the science behind barrel aging and how to produce the smoothest distillate. Distillate. Yeah, that's a word.
Distillate, yeah.
Distillate. Nailed it. He also developed his own theory as to why Western New York has a superior climate and conditions for aging spirits, similar to Ireland or Scotland. They feature a tasting room that provides apps, sandwiches, cocktails, wine, and beer. So what we have in front of us is the signature bourbon. It's a proprietary blend of high rye bourbon and high wheated bourbon, aged in full 53-gallon new white oak barrels for 5 years and 3 years, respectively. Wanting to use only the best whiskey available, they source their bourbons from MGP in Indiana, which is the winner of Distillery of the Year by Whiskey Advocate in 2015. They're in the process of distilling their own high rye and high bourbon mash bills, which will be blended and bottled in the coming years. They also have a straight rye, a dry gin, and a vodka on top of this.
Yeah, so what is important of what you just said there is this distillery, I mean, all of it was important, obviously, but this distillery, they're just starting off. So when you just open a new distillery, you're not going to be able to produce a whiskey or a bourbon as soon as you open, because that would require you to start distilling and aging items for about 2 years. That's the minimum requirement for whiskey. So most companies in the area, or really throughout the states, that start their own distillery and they want to make whiskey, they source a lot of their whiskey from MGP, which is one of the biggest manufacturers for whiskey in the states.
Yeah.
So what they do is they take different whiskeys from MGP and they finish it in their barrels. That way it's already been aged 2, 5, whatever plus years at MGP, and then bring it to their facility, finish it, and call it their own. Hartmans, though, is going to be producing their own stuff. So they're not going to be relying on MGP for the lifeline, the longevity, the longevity of their company. They're going to start distilling and making their own mash bills and doing everything in-house. But in order to start building a whiskey base to build off of, you have to source it from somewhere, which they source it from MGP, which a lot of distilleries do.
Right.
But that being said, not all whiskey coming from MGPs tastes the same. It's just the same or similar mash bill. So Hartmans, even though they are, this has a heavy cherry, I'm getting like a blackberry or some sort of darker berry smell to it. Mm-hmm. That is more to do with the finishing process with their barrels that they have rather than MGP itself. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I'm glad you did, because I caught all of it.
Oh, good. You want to repeat it then?
Yeah, verbatim. We'll start from the end and work our way to the front.
No, the cool thing too is Justin is the most humble guy I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, he's a total bro.
He came up to us, first of all, when we were at the 500 Pearl event. He saw us. We were in contact with him, but he was just so friendly and wanting to do everything.
Yeah, I was having a conversation, and all I hear is, Michael Kelly? And I'm like, God? Like,
8828? Michael Kelly, 8828?
Who is this? And I turn around, and he's like, hi, I'm Justin Hartman. And I'm like, oh. I was like, hello? I'm like, why are you initiating this conversation?
Right.
Like, I'm here to find you. And it was just, he's really, really down to earth. He's a good dude.
Very, very smart.
Very smart.
If you were able to attend that 500 Pearl event, we did a live interview with him, showcasing it to everybody that attended. We didn't record it because we wanted it to be an exclusive 500 Pearl event interview. We recorded other interviews, but that Justin Hartman interview we did not record. But in the future, we will be working with Justin to talk more about him, his company, his vision, and what's coming next.
Yeah, it'll be a special interview. We're excited for that. Mm-hmm. That'll be fun. And they're open now, so that's huge too.
Yes,
they open at the beginning of December. Mm-hmm. So
they just had their release party this past Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's a cool place. Awesome. They actually have, I wrote this down, a bourbon talk event too.
I saw that on their website.
Yeah, so select Saturdays out of the month or out of the year. I don't know how often they're doing it. It just said select Saturdays. But select Saturdays at noon, they're doing an open mic with Justin to talk literally anything you want to talk about for bourbon. So he's just putting himself out there. Again, one of the most humble and informative guys I've ever met in my life. He's not cocky. He will tell you exactly what you need to know in layman's terms for you to understand.
Yep.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
But they're doing an open mic to discuss whatever you want, anything bourbon. And the first one is actually January 11th. So if we're not doing anything, we should probably go because that'd be sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really cool guy.
We can mark that down.
Yeah. But yeah, so like just the initial taste on this.
It's good. It's really smooth.
It is very dynamic.
And it's tasting better now than when we had it there.
Yeah.
And I swear it's these glasses. Everybody should get these glasses.
Seriously, right?
If they're drinking whiskey.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, they're good.
This is
obviously not a sponsor because we don't have any sponsors because we're not famous, but.
Dude, we're famous. Justin Hartman called you out when we were at the 500 Pearl event because he knew who you were.
That's true. I'm able to text
Justin
Hartman, NBD.
I'm getting like brown sugar and honey too with this. This is a very dynamic nose.
I'm all about this whiskey.
Little precursor to the end of the episode. This is going to be my highest rated one. Just saying.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
I'm not saying I'm going to flip the table, but I'm saying I'm going to flip
the
table.
But I'm going to flip this table.
Love it. So what are we talking about today? We have a lot going on.
Dude, we have a lot going on. But really, we just wanted to start off with talking about your awesome shopping adventure. Anything else to add on that?
Yeah, there's so much stuff.
Yeah.
I could go on for days.
All right. Well,
but obviously I'm not going to go on for days. But I just envision waking up with my dog in the middle of the woods, and he's just super excited to be out there.
I don't know if Cleo would do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Sam would 100% do that.
Cleo would freak.
I think he's going to be confused at night where he's like,
yeah, what's going on?
Why aren't we leaving? And I'm like, we're out here, bud. Like, this is it. And then I just grill up some food, catch a fish, gut it,
fish.
Clean it.
Are you bringing a fishing pole and all that stuff?
I mean, you don't really need to bring an entire fishing pole. You can fish with nothing, just a big stick.
Can you stop being such an alpha?
I'm just saying.
Jesus. Yeah. Normally I just make a spear and just kill them.
All you have to do is just funnel them with rocks. You can just place a ton of rocks into a fast-moving stream or creek or river, whatever, that you're in, funnel them in, and then, or find them in a pool, stand there completely motionless, let them think that you're part of nature, and then just whack a stick into the water. The concussion stuns them, and then you scoop them out. And then when they're on the ground, you just stand there, club them on the head, kill it.
Jesus.
You open them.
This is not for any PETA advocates out
No,
there.
I mean, this is
nature.
Yeah, but
this
it's
is
also
what men do.
That's where your food comes from. I mean, that's how you eat. So you open it, and then you pull the guts out, and then you have the entire fish, including scales. If you want, you can clean it with a knife. But yeah, then you just put that on a rock next to the fire, cook it, eat it. You're good.
I did that once with frog legs.
Really?
I went camping without anything, and we just caught frogs and had them.
Everybody should do this.
It was fun.
Yeah.
You have to live that type of life.
Everybody
just so you
should
know,
be a
so you can be
hunter-gatherer.
prepared on how to survive if things go south.
You never know, man.
Yeah.
Especially in 2019 going into 2020. Literally anything is possible.
It's very true.
Nothing is off the cards.
20 years ago, we were looking at images of Microsoft issuing out warnings to shut down your computer going into the new century.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's crazy, dude. Just
Actually,
to think about.
I was the other day thinking about Microsoft Windows 7 and Windows XP. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
And then Windows 10 came out.
I remember 98, bro.
Windows 98, but then everybody had a knip shit, and they're like, Windows 10, this doesn't work. This operating system's garbage. It's like, then you design it, dude. Like, what are you doing? Stop complaining.
This is stupid.
Yeah. Like,
I don't want all these tiles everywhere.
I'm sorry, your text message goes up to space and back down in 3 seconds.
So speaking of that, Jesus, I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast, and he had a podcast with Boyan Slate, or whatever his name is.
Was it episode like
I know,
3,846?
dude. He puts out so many a day. I can't even follow. It is so hard to catch up on his stuff. Ours is an hour long. I can't imagine 3 of them back to back, 3 hours each. That is ridiculous. But anyway, Boyan Slate, I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, but he is a kid who created the Ocean Cleanup Project.
Oh, nice.
That kid,
Yeah.
And everyone's going off because they thought that he should have been the person of the year rather than Greta, but we don't have to go down that road. But I was listening to that interview, and the insane mind that you have to even come up with this Ocean Cleanup Project. So basically what he described it as, and I still have quite a bit to go in the interview because it's 3 hours long and I just can't watch it all in one sitting.
Right.
But basically what it is it's this funnel situation. That's what made me think of it with your funneling the fish.
Yeah.
But it's this net that has plastic attractors to it that attracts plastic into this little funnel system that gets then circulated up into the machine and into the dumpster. But they employ these enforcers. How are they called? I can't remember. Go listen to that if Joe Rogan doesn't need my help. But go listen to that if you have any.
He literally gets 2.8 million views a video.
He's a small podcast. I mean, go show him some love. It's like when everybody, when that Post Malone song came out, and they're like, "Oh my God, Ozzy's really good. He should feel honored." Like
Yeah.
he does not need anyone's help.
Like Ozzy Osbourne has sold. I'm not even going to get into it. Don't get me started. I'm too juiced as it is.
But anyway, go take a listen to it because it's very interesting. They're deploying them in, I think, like 0.1% of rivers, but there's very, very few rivers in the world that are actually contributing to the total plastic volume in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's not every river. Every river has pollution in it, but they are, I think it's in Lithuania. I'm totally butchering this. So if you haven't listened to it and if you're interested, but it is really remarkable on what this kid did when he was very young, and it's just starting now, and it's been 6 years since he first came up with this idea.
There's a girl that made a enzyme that breaks down plastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then she was also in the same conversation as him for Person of the Year because she can literally break down plastic, and the carbon date on plastic is astronomical.
Right.
That's why they're like, we need to figure out something better than plastic.
And now they're, in that podcast too, they were talking about what his next project would be once this takes off, because he just wants to keep helping. And he was saying he hasn't had a day off for like 6 years because all he's been doing is working on this. But the next project that Joe Rogan told him to start tackling, because why not just tell this kid what to do? He does everything anyway, but is to build something to take carbon out of the air to help with global warming and all that stuff. So there's these like skyscrapers that act as vacuums that can take this stuff out of the air. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
You can ionize the air.
All right. Don't know what that means.
Yeah, I know. But you could
You want to
charge...
explain that to us?
You can charge the particles. That's why the air is so crisp in mountains.
Does it have anything to do with an electric eel?
No.
No.
I learned this through work. There's a company that specializes in it specifically, and we work with them but they can charge the the particles in the air, and then it creates them to fall because they're heavy.
So it's just going to be acid rain on everybody?
No. So it's an atomic level. So an
atomic bomb on everybody?
No, goodness. So the particles have a certain charge. They go through...
No, goodness.
They go through a system, and then they get positively charged and or negative. It's the opposite of what they are. I can't remember specifics because I don't... It's not my company. I don't work for them. I work for somebody else. Yeah. But you charge the particles, and then it causes them to fall out of the air because they're too heavy to remain where they're at. And then when they fall, you can literally vacuum them up. Casinos use them for smoke. And then that's why the air is so crisp in mountains. Yeah, that's why the air is so crisp in mountains, because the particles are charged and they fall. So you get better, cleaner air because
I don't know that.
The dirty particles want to pick up the extra charge and then grab all the other garbage in the air. So yeah.
Look at this. Yeah. This has become an educational podcast.
Look at that.
We're not talking about whiskey anymore. We're talking about charging the particles in the air.
This is it.
This is pretty cool.
So yeah, so that's casinos use it, arenas use it. Corporate office buildings use it, and they essentially just charge the particles in the air, they fall, and then with general cleaning, you can clean the air without really realizing it. It's pretty interesting.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So none of what we talked about is a sponsor yet, but it definitely could be.
And none of what we talked about is probably even remotely accurate, just so you know. Take everything we say with a grain of salt.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it is a very good time. So anything else about this Hartmans bottle before we jump into other segments?
No. They're... Oh, goodness. We got to drink again.
They're getting quicker, dude. They are. Seriously, cheers.
All right, so they're brand new. They haven't necessarily won an award. So that's something we always touch on for each distillery. But because they just opened at the beginning of December, they haven't won yet. Keyword yet, because their stuff's incredible, so I'm sure they will.
They will.
But yeah, so...
You talked about everything else that they offer, right?
Yeah, I went over their menu. They have a full tasting room.
They have a full kitchen too, right?
Yeah, they do. Well, kind of, but they do apps, sandwiches.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then, but they have plans for growing. But yeah, I mean, and then they have cocktails, wine, and beer. Tasting room. They do tours, and they're attached to Resurgence, and they're on Chicago Street. And then their warehouse is across the street.
That area is booming right now.
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
There's not too many spots in Buffalo that are not booming.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Very good point.
It's crazy. We've had consistent cranes up and running for different projects in the last about 6 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
You always see some crane up working on something. HSBC, Seneca 1 Tower, whatever you want to call it nowadays.
That thing's been a working project since the turn of the century.
Yeah, but it actually got a facelift. I don't know why I'm stuttering, probably because I'm too juiced up right now. You're already out of water.
Yeah, no, really. Dude, I'm so parched today. I don't know why.
Really?
I hate that word because I always feel like I'm saying perched, which means I'm sitting. And that would be an awkward conversation to have when I'm...
Are you perched?
Like, thirsty. Yeah, man. Like, I've finished my water. I'm very perched. It doesn't make sense.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm already out of water.
I got you. We can fill up.
Yeah, so talking about this bottle a little bit. Last week I talked about the Lockhouse bottle having the raised logo on it. I was incorrect. That is one thing that separates our podcast from others. We do correct our errors. I don't know who that shot was for, but it was for somebody. This one does have the
Good
raised...
Lord. I don't know what my target is. I'm just going to start shooting. Just sounds good, bro.
Too soon, bro. Too soon. So yeah, Hartmans.
Oh my God.
Hartmans logo.
The Hartmans logo is raised
Jesus
on the bottle.
Christ.
I'll let you roast in that for a while.
Please do.
So Hartmans is raised on the actual bottle. We'll rate it later as we get through this episode. I don't know if we get through this episode. The NSA might shut us down.
It's fine.
But yeah, it's literally engraved on the bottle. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Goodness. Similar bottle to Lockhouse though, with overall shape. So
that's true.
All right, dude. What are we touching on Spotify and ratings and all that good stuff?
Let's do it, bro.
All right.
You want to talk about the little segment we have for today?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, so before we get shut off, we're going to go through the yearly favorites. Since this is going to be airing on December 30th, which means the next day is going to be the new year, or next 2 days is going to be the next new year.
Right.
So I wanted to do a segment here that goes through our highlights of this past year, in different segments. So the first one is, do you have a new favorite song or a favorite artist that you either found this year or found a new love for this year? And if so, what is it?
The short answer is no. I found them in 2000.
All right, well, that was it. Thanks, guys.
Yep, take care. See you next week. My buddy turned me onto this band in 2009.
No, Derek, this is a dumb segment.
Yeah, so my buddy turned me onto this band in 2009. I've been listening to them ever since, and I eclipsed the benchmark of listen to them the most, I guess, in 2019. The band's name is Parkway Drive. They're a metal band from Australia. I've seen them the most out of any other band except for All That Remains. I think I've seen All That Remains one or two more times, more than Parkway. But I've seen Parkway more than six times. I'm starting to lose count. Every time they're here, I go see them, whether it's Niagara Falls or downtown or Rochester. They're awesome. Yeah. And then their song that I listened to the most in 2019 was Chronos.
Oh, okay.
Off their new album. But, yeah.
So they've been around for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Parkway.
How many albums do they have, do you know?
Off the top of my head, no. But
more than 5?
Yes. I can check, but yeah, I'll just check. Go ahead. What about you?
So, anybody that knows me knows that my favorite all-time band is Silverstein.
Hell yeah.
That is the tattoos on my arm. That is literally my whole life. I've been listening to them since I first started really getting into that type of scene music in middle school, I think, 7th grade or something like that. Ever since I listened to them, I just fell in love. They're my favorite band. But it was weird because when I did that Spotify, look at the reflection on your year, Silverstein was number 5 on the list.
Interesting.
Because I've listened to them so much, and I have other ways of listening to them. I mean, I have all their vinyls upstairs. I have all their CDs, too. I just collect every media that they have.
Yep.
So, just particularly on Spotify, it told me that there's one artist, which I did fall in love with this year, and I'm surprised with how many people actually know him. He is from Scotland or Ireland or something.
If you say Ed Sheeran.
No.
Okay.
Not many people know him. His name's Ed Sheeran. No. His name is Dermot Kennedy. Have you ever heard of him?
Nah.
He is incredible.
Okay.
He is just this awesome voice. He is from Ireland or England or Scotland or somewhere around there. And I'm sure he would love whiskey if we had him on the show. If he's listening to this, please come on.
Obviously.
That'd be sick. But he has 2 albums out, I think. And the one song that he does it's called Power Over Me. So if you have any free time and you want to listen to some new music, he's very authentic in his singing. He's not a scene guy. He literally is just singing. I would probably call it like more of a pop, or not even a pop. I don't even know what I would explain it as. Alternative maybe, I guess.
Okay.
But it's not anything like defined into one genre, I don't think. He's a very, very talented singer, and he's just this artist that I fell in love with this past year.
Well, cool. How'd you find him?
My cousin Tom actually
showed
him to me. If on YouTube, just all those suggested videos or whatever that come up, it just comes through one of those, because if you have YouTube open all day listening to stuff, things are bound to come in that you've never heard of before, and that's how he found him. And I guess he's relatively, I wouldn't say big, but when I went on his Instagram, I saw like all these people that I know liked his stuff already. I'm like, how am I late to this party?
Right.
This dude is awesome. So if you haven't listened to him, you know Louis Capaldi?
Yeah.
He's similar to him, but like more not so loved themed, I guess.
Okay.
Because obviously Lewis's big song is Someone You Loved. Mm-hmm. It's not like such loved or mushy theme. It's more of a, I don't even know how to describe it. Just take a listen to it and definitely let me know what your thoughts are. But he's my favorite artist right now.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I like that. And Parkway Drive has 7 albums.
7 albums?
Yeah.
Wow. They've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Silverstein, I believe, has 9 now. Mm-hmm. Dude, this sleeve is going to get filled real quick. I actually go December 30th when we're supposed to record.
That's awesome.
To go to get this one finished up. All right, so next one, number 2. Favorite movie. What is your new favorite movie, or again, your newfound love for a movie? In new movie. Let's do new movie.
So you asked for 2019 movies. So I had to go back and realize that the movies I love were not made in 2019.
What was it?
So I had to stick to 2019.
What would be your answer if I didn't say 2019? Oh, God.
Cleo's putting in her piece, you know? It wouldn't be.
This is how you know it's the Buffalo Happy Hour.
That's it. I couldn't even tell you one of my favorite movie of all time I can't name.
Really?
Yeah, they're all tied for like the top 5, top 10. But anyways, my favorite in 2019, obviously Frozen 2. Get over yourself.
Oh my God, I can't stand you.
Triple Frontier was also up there, and John Wick 3 was also up there.
I haven't watched any of the John Wicks.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
So, take care, everybody. Have a good night. Go watch it. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. But next year, John Wick 4 and The Matrix are coming out on the same day next year.
Wait, The Matrix?
Yeah, they're going to do a Matrix 4.
Why? It's over with.
I don't know. That could be a 1,000% false rumor that I heard. But that's what I heard, is that The Matrix 4 is coming out.
Did you ever look and like figure out what The Matrix was all about? Instead of this one dude that wears sunglasses indoors and can stop bullets.
No, dude, he's the one.
Yeah, but honestly, that's one of the coolest trilogies to ever exist. And most people hate on it because they're like, you're a nerd.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
You really think that you can bend backwards like that? That's totally not true.
You can bend spoons?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Why is everyone with shaved heads? That's, like, who's this grandma?
If you inserted something into the back of someone's head, they die. It's like, yeah, we know. That's the premise of this movie.
Exactly.
But I fucked with Trinity. I loved her.
Yeah,
she was my favorite. When that movie first came out, and like there was that one scene, spoiler alert, where she's falling like down on the skyscraper and she's shooting up at Mr. Smith, I think it was, and he ends up killing her. Like that broke my heart.
I mean, he didn't, because Neo pulled the bullet out of her body.
Yeah, because that's totally feasible.
Yeah. He's the one. All right. Anyways, what is yours?
Well, you never told me what your new one is. Did you?
Yeah, I said Triple Frontier and John Wick 3.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, man. My bad. All right, so mine, I actually saw It too. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying it was my most... What are you looking at me like that for? It, you know?
This is a huge topic of discussion, but finish your thought. What are you trying to say?
I don't know anymore. So what I was trying to say is it's not necessarily my favorite movie, but it was my favorite surprise. Like, I went into it thinking that I was going to hate it. I'm not a big Bill Hader fan, first of all. Sorry, man, if you're listening. Not a big Bill Hader fan. I thought that the concept, especially of it being 27 years between each reason that this clown comes back or whatever, I thought that it was going to be lame because you have this cast with the kid from Stranger Things, and now 2 years later you're going to have a whole totally different cast that is supposedly 27 years in the future. I did not like it going into it, but as I went through the movie, I actually fell in love with the characters again, and a different reason why I thought I was going to. So it was not my favorite, but it was my favorite movie that I unexpectedly thought I wouldn't like, that I actually did. Why are you like not interested in this at all?
So here's the thing about it.
It's not real. Killers, clowns don't exist.
I like sleep. Therefore, I don't.
Oh yeah, you don't like scary movies.
I don't do horror films. I don't like horror films. That's not my cup of tea. If I see a clown, I'm gonna protect myself and shoot him. Like, it's not. As in, if he's endangering my life, like he does in the movie It.
If I see any clown on the street, he's going down.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go willy-nilly find clowns. No, like
God.
If some dude comes at me with a sword and he's dressed like a clown,
he doesn't come at you with a sword though. He comes up to you while you're walking a sewer grate, and he goes, "Hi, Georgie. Yeah, it's Pennywise."
Listen, don't give me nightmares. I understand. I seen the first one. I couldn't even watch most of it.
Really?
I saw
the first one or the remake first one?
No, the remake first one. It's not my cup of tea, man. Not my cup of tea. So just to clarify, because red flag laws are a thing, I'm not just going to go randomly shoot people. Yeah. Just please know that... Like this, it's
You're
not
gonna
cool.
be arrested tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not cool to terrorize random people. Yeah. All right, let's all just spread love and hugs.
But
right?
okay,
Don't do
so
drugs.
Outside of scary movies, my other favorite movie that I found out this year, just because it just released literally like 4 weeks ago, was The Irishman. Did you watch that yet?
Yeah, obviously.
Dude, that was sick.
Yeah, of course it was.
That was insane.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
All of those together. One, I don't know why De Niro played an Irish guy. He should have been Italian from the start. Call it something different. He's clearly not Italian or Irish. The only thing that I would say about that movie was the CGI on it to try to make him look like he was 40 or 35 or whatever was way too far off.
Right.
They should have gotten young guys to play that role. Like, there's some people out there that could have played a younger version of Al Pacino, which would have been sick because he looks, I'll tell you after, but he looks exactly like Al Pacino. So there could have been ways around it to make the movie a little bit more believable. And so you're not seeing De Niro walk around with a limp because he's like 87 years old when he's trying to pretend like he's 20.
Right.
So that would have been my only critique of it. But all in all, it was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it was.
It was long. If you sit there and you're invested into it, you'll love it. But if you're not into it, it's a 3.5 hour long movie. So you're not going to be, it's not going to hold your attention the whole time.
Right.
And I also like about it, they could have gone and marketed it like it was a Godfather movie, but they didn't. They did a completely different way on it. It was really cool the way that they marketed it to get people's hopes in a different perspective rather than it being like a Godfather remake or something along those lines. So
Right.
I like that movie a lot. All right, favorite series. When I texted you, I said TV show, but change it to series because I don't watch TV anymore. So what is your favorite TV show or series of 2019?
Jack Ryan season 2.
Again, I haven't watched Jack Ryan either.
Oh my God, dude.
I know. I don't know why.
Do you have Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, thanks. Take care. Like, what? I don't understand.
I don't know why.
priorities
I haven't
lie.
watched John Wick or Jack Ryan, and those have been easily the two most influential. Are you taking notes on how bad of a person I am?
1,000%. Why are we friends?
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't know why I haven't
Dude.
watched those.
Do better. Be an athlete and watch Jack Ryan.
Actually, the trailer for Quiet Place just came out today.
He filmed it in Akron.
I know. That's why like everyone was pumped about it.
Yeah.
It just came out today.
Yeah.
It didn't show anything. The trailer was literally just Emily Blunt walking in a straight line, and then they cut it. But I mean, you got to build suspense somehow.
Oh yeah.
But it was pretty cool. My favorite series, Living with Yourself. Again, a recent series that just came out. Beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of art.
I got nothing on it.
You've never heard of it?
Nope.
Do you have Netflix? You do.
Yeah.
So,
It's 2020.
not yet. Tomorrow, when this airs.
In 2 days.
So, Living with Yourself is a 8-episode series. Each episode is like 30 minutes long. And it's with Paul Rudd.
Okay.
First of all, love Paul Rudd. Huge fan of him. The premise of this is that he goes to a massage parlor to relieve some stress. His coworker said that he went to this massage parlor, and when he got out of this massage parlor, he was 1,000% a completely different person. So Paul Rudd paid $50,000 to go to this massage parlor, and when he goes in there, the massage parlor actually takes your DNA, and this is all within like the first 5 minutes, so I'm not really spoiling anything. Takes your DNA and clones you. And then when they clone you, they give you all of like incredibly motivated and positive attributes that would make you like the superhuman without making you a superhero. But they make you the superhuman, and they kill the old one. The issue is that they didn't really kill the old one. They just buried him, and then they come back to life, and now there's 2 Paul Rudds throughout the whole show. So now it's this conflict between the new Paul Rudd is like this perfect human, and then there has to be a give and take between when the real Paul Rudd comes out and when the fake Paul Rudd, the real one, comes out. It's a really interesting show that is very humorous too. Highly suggested.
What a mind trip.
I know. Very good.
Interesting.
Very good. All right. Favorite podcast. What's your favorite podcast that you're listening to right now?
Other than ours, obviously.
Obviously.
University of Badassery.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Want to explain what it's about?
Yeah. So
Please do.
The University of Badassery is 2 hosts similar
Is
to
it like
ours.
the Trey Wright Goalie Academy?
No, it's not like the Trey White Goalie Academy. And it incorporates a guy named Pat McNamara, who's prior Delta Force, and they discuss tons of different topics. They work with different law enforcement officers. They work with dudes that are former Army, and he brings guests on his show, and they share stories, just have a really good conversation. But Pat Mac is a guy that makes you feel like the most, not even beta, but like omega human being in the world, where you're not ready to do anything in life at all. He has everything figured out. He always posts like basic dude stuff Wednesdays, so he'll just rappel off of his house. He'll like make his wife dinner. He'll do land nav. He'll go to a range and shoot and then work out afterwards, and it's all functional training. He made his own strength training program.
Jesus.
Like, the dude's just everything you would want to be as a male. Great role model. Barely swears. and he's extremely intelligent and
Well, I'm
everything.
out.
Yeah, so everything he says is a purpose. But that's definitely up there for favorites. And then the other one is Bussin' with the Boys, and their pod is a riot.
Yeah.
And it used to be two Tennessee Titans that started a podcast. One is Taylor Lewan, and then the other is Will Compton. And then Taylor Lewan's our left tackle. He's the one that talked trash with Shaq Lawson on Twitter when we played him. And then Will Compton is the linebacker that recently signed with Oakland.
Oh, okay.
So they have...
Are they going to continue the podcast then or no?
Yeah. They've wrapped up season 1, and then now they're focusing on the rest of the season, and then they're going to come back. But they have a ton of different hosts that are prior players. Former Bills were on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Jordan Matthew,
Oh, okay.
the wide receiver, he talked about his time in Buffalo. But they're just
Did
really
he trash
cool.
it?
No.
He was here for like a minute and a half.
He said that being in Buffalo actually helped him because it worked on his recovery.
Really?
Yeah, because remember he was hurt.
Because he never played.
Well, we signed him hurt.
Yeah.
And then he left the Eagles. And when he left the Eagles, they won the Super Bowl. And then he went to Buffalo. And then he went to New England. And then when he left New England won the Super Bowl. And then he went back to New England. Or the Eagles.
Yeah.
So regardless, he was like bouncing all over the place. But then the team that he left ended up going to the show.
Yeah.
So he talks about that. But yeah, it was a really good interview. But they're awesome. They have a lot of good inside jokes. And they have a really good podcast. So Bussin' with the Boys.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine, I have two of them. So one of them is the Fantasy Football Podcast, the Fantasy Footballers. They're my favorite. I love them. Jason Moore, Andy Holloway, and Mike Wright. They do a fantastic show. Just talking all fantasy football. They have another podcast, the Spitballers. I haven't watched that yet, but they're very cool people. Give you awesome advice, and I won one of my leagues this year because of them. So they're good people.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's definitely a cool one to watch. They film actually all year long, even when football's not in season, because they talk about like recent news and they go through the scouting combine and all that stuff. So very informative podcast. It's very unique to have a football podcast go through the whole year, but they do. So I highly recommend that if you're listening to fantasy football. The other one is actually the Jesselnick and Rosenthal Vanity Project, JRVP. If you ever listen to them, do you know who Anthony Jeselnik is? He is
the comedian.
Yeah.
He has his own podcast.
Dude, he has his own podcast with Greg Rosenthal from the NFL Network. It is hilarious.
His dark humor makes me like
Dude,
cry.
he is so funny.
Yes.
And the podcast is the exact same way. So it's them two. And they just talk about everything. It started off with it being called the Rosenthal and Jesselnick Vanity Project, which they talked primarily about football. But now they're onto completely different stuff. They talk about everything not football related. And then they have a producer, Erica, who has her own segment too. It's a very, very entertaining podcast and highly recommend that too.
They on Spotify?
They're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. They don't do YouTube. The Fantasy Footballers actually do YouTube too. But yeah, very, very entertaining podcast. That came up as one of my most listened to podcasts other than us for the year 2019. That's a very like weird experience. So look at your most listened to podcast and like Buffalo Happy Hour, really? It's me.
Right.
I listen to I'm such a narcissistic dude.
It was interesting when we first figured out our photos when we first started, and then I plugged my phone into my truck, and then Apple CarPlay came up, and I saw my own face in my truck. And I'm
Almost
like,
veered off the road.
yeah, I was like, oh. Luckily I was in my driveway,
Yeah.
but I just kind of sat there and stared at it. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then I heard myself, and I'm like, also weird.
Yeah, very weird.
It was pretty cool.
Why are we famous? I was
Number
just going to
5.
say something else. Also kind of talking about podcasts and seasons. So we are actually going to end season 1
You're talking about
after
us,
this
right?
episode, yes.
Yeah.
We're going to end season 1 after this episode that's released right now. We're
It's
cutting
a
it
wrap.
off. We're done. We're not doing podcasting anymore.
That's it. Calling it.
We're going to do a season a year. So we can try to organize some of this stuff, especially on YouTube and the podcast platforms, organize it in folders that make more sense. Mm-hmm. And also next year, we're going to be venturing into other areas, not just whiskey related. So we kind of want to keep the whiskey and the liquor in one season, which is season 1. We're going to be doing more liquor and whiskey stuff in season 2, but we just wanted to cut it off here, have an ending point, and then start back up again the first of the year. So
Yeah,
just let you know for that change.
There's a lot of stuff coming up in 2020. We're
Ton.
doing way more things than just a bourbon or a rye or a coffee liqueur or a bourbon cream. or a gin.
Yeah.
I'm stoked, dude.
We have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
All right. So the biggest milestone. This one could be quick, and it's actually going to be pretty cheesy for mine. But what is yours? What was your biggest milestone of this past year?
You know what mine is?
Is it the same as mine?
Mine is getting out of the Army.
Oh yeah, that's true. Not the same as mine. Did not go to the Army.
No,
Just so you
I
know.
definitely know what yours is, though. Now
Hell
that I
yeah,
think about
dude.
it. Say it.
Absolutely. Doing this podcast, bro.
Yes,
it's
dude.
about time.
Yes.
We literally have been talking about this for years.
We have.
And we finally pulled the trigger on it.
I mean, nothing like what we said earlier about
Yeah.
pulling triggers against clowns.
Jesus Christ. This is definitely coming down after this episode. Oh my God.
But yes, dude, you just got to go full circle with
Yeah.
it. But yeah, not like a drum magazine circle, but
Jesus Christ.
but yes,
Yeah,
I'm
no, I hear
glad. I'm
you.
glad we finally did.
You really have to take a shot. Not that type of shot, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so we've been really talking about this, and we wanted to. Mike's dying. we wanted to do this for a very long time.
We did.
So it's nice that this year we finally were able to actually pull the trigger on this.
Dude, I can't even.
Oh my God.
I feel like I'm in Who's
All
Line.
right. Anyway, so yeah, that would be our biggest milestones of this year.
Love you too, Cleo. Yes, this is a.
I think she's on a timer, man. I think she's got the same timer that you have for your phone. Every day at 5:40, she has to just start barking. I don't understand this dog. All right, but anyway, so that was our yearly rewind with our yearly favorites and everything.
Yes.
Let us know if you like that section because that was kind of fun for us to do.
Yeah, that was right.
We want to do some sort of fun segment every episode to keep people entertained and not just talk about whiskey all the time. And not just talk about the Bills, which we have to talk about right now.
Yeah, we do. And it's not going to be long because we just hit it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to throw a stat out, which was the first season comparison stats between Tom Brady and Josh Allen. Everyone talks about how great Tom Brady is. I get it. And I understand. He's been in the league forever. He does well. But looking back, there's always fans that talk about Josh Allen is not the answer to the franchise. He's garbage. And we should bench him for
Barkley.
whatever second stringer or third stringer we have. It's annoying. So, Tom Brady in his first year had 2,843 yards. Josh Allen had 2,876 yards.
Wow.
Tom Brady had 18 touchdowns. Josh Allen had 18 touchdowns. Tom Brady had 12 interceptions. Josh Allen had 9. Tom Brady had a passer rating of 86.5, and Josh Allen had a rating of 84.6.
Really?
Through his first seasons. So that I thought was interesting. Also, I'm not taking credit for that. My high school head coach posted that.
Oh,
and
okay.
he was stoked about us taking the throne and defeating the Patriots on that Saturday night game.
Mm-hmm.
So this is getting released after that game.
Yeah,
But,
so we definitely beat them.
yeah, so we definitely beat them because we're recording before the
Last
game.
time he said that, though, we lost, so we didn't beat them.
There's a chance anything can happen.
Yeah, I know.
I'm staying optimistic.
I'm just scared.
But yes. So, interestingly enough, Josh Allen and Tom Brady had the same first year in the league. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. So, I thought it was a pretty cool stat. What do you got?
So, since this is coming out, actually, 2 weeks after that, or a week after that game. So, when this releases, we just played the Jets yesterday.
Yeah.
So, this is a little bit more of I went to look at this stat to see how cool this would be because I thought that it would show the point of Josh Allen is very good, but it actually showed the wrong point, which isn't necessarily my idea, but we're going to go with it anyway because everything needs to be said.
Okay.
For the past 3 games, granted, the Bills have played difficult opponents the past 3 games. We played the Steelers, we played the Ravens, and then we played who's before the Ravens?
Was it Denver?
Denver, yeah. So very good defenses. And the Jets have not played very good defenses.
Right.
But Darnold over the last 3 games had a quarterback rating of 71.4, 86.6, and 85.2. Josh Allen had 120% passer rating, which was against the Cowboys. That's what it was.
Oh, that's right.
The
on
Cowboys.
Thanksgiving.
Then the 62.6 against the Ravens. And then the 65.3 against the game we just played against the why can't I think of it? Who we just play? Steelers. Jesus Christ. So they're showing a little regression there from, not regression, but worse passer rating on Josh Allen's part over the past 2 weeks than Darnold does, but because we were playing literally elite defenses. People don't understand how good Pittsburgh's defense actually is.
That and our receivers don't catch the damn ball.
Correct. We had a lot of drop passes. The last time that we played the Jets, Sam Darnold had an 84.3% passer rating and Josh Allen had a 71.2.
That's interesting because the defenses are ours is only getting better as the season goes on. The Patriots is not.
I saw that stat too. Do you remember that stat off the top of your head?
No.
It was the Patriots only allowed like 12 points per game at the start of the season for the first couple weeks.
It was like 9. I think it was.
Single digits. Yeah, it was 9, and the Bills did 17. Mm-hmm. And then over the past like 5 weeks, it was flip flopped. It was the Bills were like at 12 points a game, and the Patriots were at like 17 or 19.
Yeah.
So we've done actually pretty well. Mm-hmm. I do think that we have a chance to beat the Patriots. We have a chance to beat the Jets, and it would be crazy if we ended up at the top of the division.
Yeah, I mean, if Fitz shows up, who knows?
That's true.
Who knows? But yes, it's been a great year regardless.
Who? Oh, if Fitz shows up against New England.
Fitz, correct.
I'm like, geez, because
the Dolphins would have to lose against New England. Or I'm sorry, the
Dolphins would have to win.
Correct. The Dolphins would have to win against New England.
But Miami or Cincy almost beat them. At the halftime, Cincy was winning.
Dude, that happens all the time. Brady and Belichick make adjustments in the second half, and then they just win
because
the game.
They keep watching people's sidelines.
Oh my goodness.
They're still investigating that.
Yeah.
They haven't come to a conclusion yet, and it's damning.
Yeah,
have you listened?
Their evidence is not good at all.
Did you see the video?
Yeah.
The guy.
That's what I said last episode. It looks horrible on them.
I just watched it before we did this episode, and the guy that was recording was like, I can just delete it. Like, it doesn't matter. I can just delete it. And everyone's like, no, you can't delete it.
Yeah, you're under an investigation.
Yeah, idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Goodness.
Good stuff, though. It'll be cool, but either way, we're going into the playoffs, and right now it looks like we're playing the Texans, which is a winnable game, too, because their defense is atrocious. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting wild card round.
Sure will. All right, after this, should we do the cocktail section?
Let's do it.
All right, drop that beat.
Cocktail.
So my cocktail is the hard-pressed cider.
Ooh.
This is off their menu.
Really?
Pretty stoked about it. It includes this bourbon and a local apple cider and mulling spices.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Do you shake it, or is it just... Hold on, can you repeat that again?
Yeah. Bourbon, local apple cider, mulling spices.
Okay, so it's probably just a stir.
Yeah.
Real quick stir. Mm-hmm. Cool. Nice. I went New Year's themed.
There you go.
So I wanted to do a cocktail that is you can drink going into the new year. So this one is called Set the New Year on Fire.
Oh my god.
I was gonna do an Alicia Keys and just go off on that fire, but I'm not going to.
I'm really glad you didn't.
Set this. No, okay. So it's 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime juice, 1/2 an ounce of simple syrup, 6 mint leaves. You put that down at the bottom of the cup and you muddle it. Fill that with ice, and then you actually pour 2 ounces of single malt scotch on top. So we're doing a scotch instead of a bourbon.
Wow,
which is pretty cool. And they suggest a Bowmere 12. Then you add more ice on top of that, a 1/2 ounce of Campari, and then you top it with the half of the lime that you already squeezed out for the lime juice, and you light it on fire, and you serve it like that.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll just start fires. No problem.
I was going to suggest a sparkling blood orange with bourbon, but it's another New Year's cocktail, but...
Please drink responsibly in all sense of that phrase.
Yeah, really.
Goodness. Should we do the rating?
Yeah, dude.
Label.
I got heartburn.
So you want to incorporate label, branding, and the bottle all in one?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A plus check mark.
Oh, we're going 4.
Oh, yeah.
I like that, too.
All right. So
I like it because this is... So outside of the cast and crew that we're going to be featuring next week, right? Yeah, next week. Outside of the cast and crew that we're going to be featuring next week, this is the only bottle that we've had where the bottle is specific to the distillery because it says Hartmans on the bottle.
On the physical bottle, yeah.
Correct, yeah. Like, obviously, the Buffalo Distilling has a unique shape, 3-quart has a unique shape, but it doesn't necessarily call the company out on the bottle, whereas this is the only one. So I agree that 4 marks are appropriate for this one.
I concur.
Michael,
I concur.
what do you think about the nose?
I love the nose. I'm picking up so many different things.
Dude.
But I give it an A++.
So, I'm going to go one up. I'm going to go A+++. Because you're getting so many flavors with this. I don't know how they did that.
I don't either.
I don't
either.
Like cherries, dark berries, and then...
Cherries and dark berries.
That was my rap name. And then like caramel, vanilla, and brown sugar. I'm getting a lot through the nose.
That's all in the nose?
Yeah. You don't get that? Like think right now of cherries and smell it.
Yeah, I definitely get cherry.
And then brown sugar. Like I can smell everything in this. This is a very complex nose.
I can faintly pick up the brown sugar, but it's not.
It's not
cherry.
overpowering. It's
Right.
mainly cherry and a little vanilla. I'm getting, and then the brown sugar and honey and dark berries are kind of on the back end. Initial taste.
Wee woo.
Hi, Wumbo.
You wumbo.
You gotta try my family's famous chili.
Cherry.
This is tough.
My ending note, I'm getting vanilla. God, dude, this is so good.
This
It
is
so smooth.
This is very dynamic. I can't put my...
Come on, Justin. Why'd you go to the Moonshine University's distillers course in Louisville? And
Because
throw
I
a wrench
can't
in our
take
plan?
this. Yeah, this is way too sophisticated of a whiskey for me to even rate. But I'm getting... You're right, vanilla on the back end. Vanilla and a spice on the back end, too.
Yeah, I'm picking up a spice. That's a really good call.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. That was probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me. And then the initial... and then the initial taste... A vanilla... An oak, maybe? I don't know what I'm getting for the initial taste. It's a weird one. What are you getting?
There's a little bit of oak, but the oak is like an intermediate between the initial and the ending. Because you can still, at the ending, you can still kind of pick up that faint little bit
You're
of
right.
oak.
Vanilla and cherry on the front. And the initial taste for me.
Yeah, and then spice and... Okay, yeah, I like that.
And spice and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, this is very, very good.
Yeah, it is. I definitely recommend it.
I think I'm going to surprise you with the rating.
Oh, this is goodness. All right, so what do you want to give it for an initial taste? A...
+++.
3 pluses. Okay. Ending?
A+, check mark, check mark.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We talk.
Final rating.
We talk like it is so scientific.
It is
A+,
scientific.
check mark, check mark.
It's the Buffalo Happy Hour podcast.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's the rating scheme. I love this, dude. This makes me so happy. Final
dude,
rating.
that was awesome. I sound like a smoker when I laugh. I don't know why. I've never smoked a day of my life, but like I get that wheezing sound.
you're
but
right
that
out of
was
Toy
that
Story.
was funny. All right, so anyway, final rating. Are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. 97. Nice, dude.
Come on,
there
dude.
we go. That was easily our best one.
Yeah, this is good. No knock on anything that we've tried
Right.
in the previous 12 episodes, but this is really good.
If this is what they're doing with MGP sourced whiskey, I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with their own stuff.
Yeah, I'm stoked because this dude's a whiz.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously graduated from a school in Kentucky, but I'm pumped for this. And also, shout out to his wife because she's putting up with him and she's a total sweetheart.
Yeah, true.
She's super nice.
He's very nice, very nice.
And thanks for getting him to move back here.
Yeah, really.
Props.
And the partner, Cameron, too. So it's Justin Hartman's the one that owns it. And Cameron is his partner. And he was a sweet guy, too.
Yeah, he's a
we
bro.
were there talking with him when Justin wasn't there. Very, very cool couple guys. 1,000% recommend. Go look at them. Go to their place. Try some whiskey. Try anything. They're masterminds.
Yeah, they got a good vibe to their place. I like it.
We should try their gin now then. We've had gin. See what it's about.
Yeah, I'm down.
Very cool. All right, so that really concludes the episode, man.
Yeah, man.
We flew through this one.
Yeah, we
What
touched
time are
everything.
we at?
We
We're right at an hour right now.
Yeah,
I think,
we got
right?
30 seconds left.
All right, let me talk fast. All right, so what we're going to do here is... No, I'm just kidding. All right, so This is the end of the podcast. You got it? Go for it.
This is it. The year's over with. I appreciate everybody's support through season 1. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're looking forward to you guys listening to us in season 2. And be on the lookout soon for t-shirts because that's happening soon. Portion of every sale is going to Western New York Heroes, and they work with disabled vets, widows of deceased service members, and Gold Star families, which means their kids. So all of the proceeds, or portion of the proceeds on every sale, so all the sales is going to them. So we're excited for that. Be on the lookout. Let us know what size you want, and go Bills.
Yeah, this has been episode, 13?
13, dude.
13 of the Buffalo Happy Hour, Mike.
Yeah, man.
Everyone drink responsibly.
And enjoy.
We're out.